Imagine this. We are standing at the bedside of someone who has just passed away. Their breath has stopped, and we wonder, can they still hear me? Do they understand what I'm saying? The answer is surprising. Yes, it is entirely possible. For the sense of hearing is extremely resilient and often remains active until the very last moments.
It is often assumed that all senses fail immediately upon cardiac arrest. In reality, however, hearing is frequently the last sense to leave the dying person. Studies show that the brain continues to process acoustic signals even when the person is no longer responsive or is unconscious. That is why it is infinitely important for relatives to keep speaking to their loved one, even if they seem completely unresponsive. Your loving words can be the final comfort, and your familiar voice the last pleasant sensation they feel before leaving this world for good.
People often fear death not only because they must part with life, but also because they are afraid of suffering agonizing pain. But let's clarify the facts. Do we really have to suffer before we die?
The fear of excruciating pain is one of the greatest concerns regarding death. However, in most cases, it is unfounded. Thanks to enormous advances in palliative medicine, this myth has long been a thing of the past. Modern methods of pain management and symptom control, for instance, for shortness of breath or nausea, are extremely effective. The task of today's medicine is not only to prolong life, but to keep its quality as high as possible until the very last second, free from suffering and agony. Properly administered medication allows the dying to lead a normal life in their final days without feeling pain. In the event of severe injuries, the body also activates a natural protective mechanism that greatly reduces the perception of pain to ensure survival and maintain the ability to act. Incidentally, we do not feel the actual moment of death. Most people die peacefully in their sleep or in a state of unconsciousness.
When we walk through a cemetery at night or are alone in the dark, we are often overcome by the fear that the deceased might visit us. For generations, reports of such encounters have stubbornly persisted. It is said they come back to warn us of dangers or to punish us for our mistakes. But how realistic is it that a dead person suddenly stands before us?
Ghost stories are fundamentally cultural reflections of our psychological and social needs. They manifest grief, guilt, unresolved conflicts, and the fear of the unknown. From a scientific perspective, there is no evidence for the objective existence of ghosts. Glowing silhouettes in cemeteries can usually be explained by light reflections, escaping gases, or optical illusions. Our consciousness often constructs these apparitions to help us cope with losses or to alleviate inner guilt toward those we have lost.
Did you know that every second, 2 people die and 4 are born worldwide? It is a natural cycle of life on our planet. Yet for many, death resembles a door that closes forever. We die and everything disappears, as if we had never existed. Many believe that after death they end up in nothingness, in the same unconscious state as before birth. This notion often serves as a license for selfishness. Live for your own pleasure, without regard for ethical rules. But death is not an end. Rather, it is the beginning of something new. And the way we lived here is of great importance there.
The idea that personality and consciousness permanently cease with death is a philosophical assumption, not a scientifically proven fact. Medicine can only measure the cessation of biological functions. What happens to consciousness, however, remains a matter of faith and belief. Nearly all world cultures do not view death as absolute annihilation, but as a transition to another life, as a cycle of rebirth, or as a shift to another plane of existence. Since natural science does not concern itself with the supernatural, it can neither confirm nor refute this theory. The assumption that everything is over with death is therefore merely materialism and not a proven truth. Incidentally, the claim that immortality is impossible in living beings is also a myth. The so-called immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis dohrnii, is well known to science. When it becomes ill or old, it rejuvenates its cells, returns to its childhood, and begins its life anew, over and over again. If even a simple jellyfish can overcome the boundaries of death, should we really believe that for the human spirit everything is finite? And finally, the most important question: can a person become immortal? My answer is yes. It is absolutely possible. We are only truly alive as long as we are remembered. Have you lived your life in vain? No. Your life deserves to be etched forever into the memory of humanity. You shouldn't be erased from the face of the earth and forgotten forever. How can you achieve this? Read Kristi's book, Human Heritage Museum. It will show you how to remain immortal in history. You can order the book via the link in the description below. Which of these myths surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Did you enjoy the video? We worked very hard to bring this to you. Please give us a like as a thank you. And if you want to gain more valuable knowledge, subscribe to our channel.